Right, welcome to another one, back in the garage, and we're cracking on with the Escort again. So in today's episode, hopefully by the end of the episode, so I've done no work yet, all I've done is actually raise the car up a little bit more to help get in and out. It's starting to hurt my back getting in and out underneath there. I'm getting too old for this nonsense. So hopefully by the end of today's episode, we'll have, at the very least, everything covered in epoxy primer in the engine bay. Hopefully top coat finish, which is what I'm aiming for. So there's a bit of filler work to do. There's a bit of paint I want to get rid of and what have you. So we'll just crack on with it and see what occurs. So today's plan is clean as much of this back to bare metal as I can, because if we look closely at this, you'll see there is very slight creeping surface rust underneath this primer that's on there, because the primer that's on there isn't the Halford's primer. This is what came with it, if I remember rightly. So it's I want to get it off, make sure that we're getting rid of that, and clean up around all these areas here, and clean everything off and get the filler out to tidy up some little areas here and there, just to smarten it up. And then we can have a look at putting some 2-pack epoxy primer on it, and then we can start seam sealing and messing about and all sorts of that. So it's just a little bit at a time. Again, filming it is going to be a little difficult, so hopefully I can get a camera angle which shows what I'm up to. Let's just crack on then. That gets rid of the worst of the corrosion on there. This side was a lot worse, as it happens. If I zoom into a bit down there, you can see, hopefully, if that focuses, the brown on the edges there. So I'm going to get into there now with some sandpaper into these corners, what have you, out, just to scuff those up. I'm happy with the bulkhead. Lower bulkhead is fine, there's no corrosion there I need to worry about. Same with the front panel. It's just the inner wings, really. I did the same when I painted the other sides of the inner wings. I made sure they were all cleaned off and what have you as well. So I'm going to go around now with a bit of sandpaper in hand and sort out all the little edges and come back to you. And just some standard PAT grip type paper you can get from anywhere like B&Q, and that doesn't have to be anything fantastic at this stage. After much rubbing, scrubbing, grinding and faffing about, we are ready for some primer. So I've not done any seam sealing or filling or anything. I just want to get epoxy primer on there now. Probably should have taken these hinges off, but you'll worry about that later. So I just want to get the worst of it covered up now. So what I've done, I've been over it all with the polystrip disc. One of these are brilliant for removing rust and paint without putting any too much heat into the panels. Going around the seams with the angry wheel on a grinder, that thing, and then hand sanded everything to give it a nice key, ready for the paint. Epoxy primer should be pretty good at keying in anyway, but all will help. Got myself a cheap and cheerful spray gun, the weirdo pot on it, some new HP Body Pro 989 epoxy primer and thinners, mixing cup, which I don't understand yet, and most importantly, charcoal filter mask, so I don't kill myself, hopefully. Right, let's have a go. See if we can figure out these cups. So we're a 4-to-1 mix on the epoxy primer. So we're going to figure out these cups. These are just, haven't got the thingy marks on them, they're just the millilitres. Okay, I can go for. I should put some gloves on really. I do have some of this left over from before, but I thought since I'll be going at spraying it, I'll just leave this for brush painting and messing about with. I don't know if the hardener has a life to it. Yummy. Lovely. Put 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Ah, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go up to about there with hardener. Yeah, okay. That wasn't that difficult after all. Just needed my brain to get into gear. Yeah, it smells just as vile as the other one, so maybe, maybe the other one hasn't gone off, it just smells vile anyway. Give that a mix and see what we got. Now as for the thinners, I'm just going to mix it into, I feel it's about right. What's the worst that can happen? I reckon that's not far off there. Like a thin cream is what I try to go for when I'm painting. Well, it's been a while since I last did proper spraying. Yeah, let's give that a whirl. Right then, mask on and let's have a crack. Yeah, it's going on. Bit of tweaking, I think. Well, that's not bad for a first attempt for a long time. That mostly covered it, so we've just got a bit left to do over there now, so we'll mix up about the same again and finish off those bits there. Yeah, quite happy with that. Bit orange peely, probably could do a bit more thinner in it, but it is just a base coat anyway, so lovely. What a difference it makes when it's all one colour. Oh, I'm quite pleased with my cheap and cheerful gun. That's worked alright. US Pro gun. Goodness knows what size tips and whatever you got, it just is what it is. So, there we go. That's the engine bay, all one colour at least, in primer. Epoxy primer, which is important. So, what we'll do once this is set off is seam seal all the edges, tidy up, tidy up a bit of filler in and what have you, but it's actually looking better than I expected. I don't think it's going to need that much filler in work, to be honest, so that's good news. Yeah, quite pleased with that. A couple of days have gone by and this is set off very nicely. It's covered beautifully, to be fair. It's a bit probably a bit thick, it's a bit orange peely, but that's soon flat back. This is just the first coat anyway. So the next thing I think I'll do is mask up all my areas and ready for seam sealing, so it gets a nice finish on the seam sealing. Underneath the car, I didn't worry about that because it's under the car, but now a lot of this will be visible, so it'd be nice to get it pretty looking pucker. Ah, I have pinstriping tape. I forgot I had. I use that to go around all these little edges so you're messing about. This is stretchy, so I'll go around corners. It's supposed to be anyway. Right, well that's a general idea. I'll crack on with the rest of it, boring you guys with just taping stuff up, and I'll show you the results. Well, I'm an hour in and I'm still not done. I'm losing the will to live. If you want to find a good way to make yourself go doolally tap, this is it. Masking up, ready for seam sealing. Right, got there at last, all masked off, ready for seam sealing. So that's quite a lot of effort gone into that. So hopefully we get a nice finish. So what I think I'll do, I'll start off with the most out of sight bits on this side first and see how we get on. Right, so what I'm using is this PUUK vinyl polyurethane sealant. This is what I use underneath. I bought a pile of this stuff, so should be okay. The only thing with it, as soon as you start using it, it goes off within a couple of days. So this is why I bought a load of it. Quite a lot of it's going to waste for me because I'm only doing little bits at a time, but that's fine. I can live with that. Bother. I thought I was recording and I either just wasn't or the camera turned itself off. I don't know what quite happened. But here we go with the first attempt. I don't think you would have seen a lot because I think I was getting right in the way of the camera anyway. So I'll see if I can set up a better camera angle. I've still got more to do. I was just getting in a sticky mess. Right, let's peel off the tape and the bits I have done, see how we're getting on. Oh, that is satisfying. Lovely. Well, that's not very helpful. The tape's gone a bit weird. Ooh, sticking a bit too well, that blue tape. There's a horrible residue behind as well. Bother. Okay, maybe that wasn't a good idea after all. Oh, masking tape's coming off fine. The blue tape is really giving me grief. The blue tape is a problem. As you've heard me whinging about it already, it's sticking and it's leaving residue behind. So I'm going to have to get some panel wipe or something on that. And it's not, I'm not happy with that. The line that's left with the sealant I'm happy with. I think once painted that's going to look quite nice. Right, okay, it's been a couple of days since I've been in the garage because I ran out of time and other things to do. What I have learned is, because I was trying to peel this off before it was setting off because I was panicking. You don't need to. You can wait till it's set off and it peels off just fine. As you can see, like so. And you don't get in that almighty sticky mess trying to peel it off. So I'm going to attempt to set the camera up a little bit better today because I've had a quick look at the footage and all you got mostly is the back of my head or the back of my body. So I'm going to see if I can do something better with the camera angle. It's a bit difficult. At the very least, if I just show what I can do across here, and it's sort of more of a close-up to show what I'm doing. Righto, I got some weird wide angle shot going on here, so I'll go across here and basically just show what I'm doing, hopefully without getting in your way. And that's basically it. So I'll go around the entire car like that. Actually, I might be able to get a shot of me going in the corner over here perhaps. So we've got a bit of a gap there, so I'll fill that gap, and all down there I'll fill all that as well. So hopefully you'll get a shot of this as well. And basically I just let all that set off and peel it off. So hopefully that makes sense to what I'm doing. Right, yo, a lot of gloves and a lot of seam sealing and faffing about later. We are all sealed. So I let that set off and peel the tape away and see what we get. So satisfying pulling the tape off. And so much better now I've waited for it to set off, because it was going everywhere trying to peel it off and it was still wet. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, this blue tape's a menace. Don't use blue tape if you're doing this. There we go. That's looking half about now. All tape is removed and seam sealer all in place couple of bits I could do with trimming up, but I'll wait till it's properly set off before I do that. But that's going to look nice once it's painted. Right, okay, so the next thing I want to do is tidy up around these areas here with a bit of filler, and sort of around here as well, just to tidy up little bits and bobs. But on the whole, it's not too bad because it's mostly new panels. We've got a bit of tidying up to do around there. There's a couple of small dinks and dents in it, which just be nice to tidy up a little bit better if we can. So that's the next challenge. Alright, so been over the areas that need a little bit of filling, just nothing serious, just to give them a bit of a key up and flat back the paint. This is wonderful paint, to be fair, because a lot of what needs filling is just flatted out with the paint itself, and it's cut up really nice. This is, I'm trying to think about it when I painted this. Is about 4 days ago I think I painted this, and it's cutting back nicely. It's just a P80 grit paper, like this sort of stuff you get from B&Q, and it's sanded out very nicely, to be fair. So trying something new today. Got one of these onion boards to mix my filler on. Never tried one of these before, but I've seen others using them, and I like the idea of starting on a fresh surface with mixing. So I'm going to mix up a bit of filler and crack on with the next bit. Finish Flag Lightweight Filler FF1. That's what this stuff is. Used it quite a lot in the past. It seems to be works quite nicely. I'm happy with it. Filler's filler. You know, the professionals will tell you there's different grades and there's different ways they sand and that, but for a regular guy like me, filler's filler. But I will know it'll need a good mixing because it's been stood for a while. Oh, the lovely smell of polyester filler. Right, get some gloves on. Still soft, so that's a good start. Nice new spreaders as well. Right. One little tip with fillers, the hardener. This definitely goes funny in the tubes. Always give these a really good massage. Get in shop. Really good squishing up. So it doesn't, because if you just open these up after they've been sat for a while, the first lot will just be like water coming out and you ruin the tube then. So my Darth Vader in this mask. This guy's coming through on the video. And that we don't want to go messing with because that's going to just be rubbish. I should take that off and bin it. Right then. Let's get some filler on the go. Yeah, I'm only going to mix up a little bit at a time. That's more than enough for what I want to be messing around with. Just keep folding it in on itself till the colours are nice and even. Lump it. Let's get rid of that. Oh, the onion board seems to be a trick. When you're mixing as well, watch the bits that creep up the paddle, so you wipe them right off, and there as well, because those will cause you chaos in your mix otherwise. Oh yeah, I like this onion board. Look at how it's not sticking to it, and you keep do that. Yeah. Righto, there's the filler all slapped on. So the obvious areas, just giving a little sweep over, just to smarten them up a little bit. So we got the worst area really being that around the tunnel there, which probably going over the top on because you don't really see it once the engine's in. Big fan of the onion board, pleased with that. That's made clearing up in between mixes a lot easier. So recommend that idea. So just leave that set off now and start flattening it back. Righto, so I've got a little orbital thingy sander, DA sander, and we'll give this a bit of a whack with some P40 just to knock the worst of it off. Alright, after much sanding, we're almost there. So these are all nice and smooth now. Just got to finish off that little corner there. Just that's a new bit of fresh bit of filler there, waiting for that to set off. And in the meantime, I've googled when do I need to sand in between epoxy primer. So I've got 14 days. I can blow over that without having to sand it. So that's good news because I'm about 5 or 6 days since I painted that now. So that's good news. Hopefully I can whiz that off and get another coat of epoxy all over that. Righto, that's that roughed out under there now. So now there's a couple of little divots in it, what have you here and there, but with a coat of epoxy primer, I found this epoxy primer smooths really nicely out. It's almost like a primer filler. So another couple of coats of epoxy primer, then flat it back to a nice flattish surface, then a couple of coats of high build primer. I think we'll be onto a winner then. Okay, well, apart from the hideousness that went on there, which we will ignore, that's not gone too badly. The paint is, which is typical of paint, it's reacting differently between the thinners, sorry, not thinners, the filler, bare metal and the previous paint, but that's to be expected. That's just a case of flattening it back and the next coat will be okay. And where we've done the seam sealing, I'm quite pleased with how that looks. It's got a nice factory sort of finish to it. So all in all, this is coming along quite nicely. A couple of areas which I could probably do better, aside from that bit. But it's all a learning. It's not something I do every day, it's something I do once in a blue moon. You forget most of what you do until you do it again. Okay, runs in paint are horrible, but do not despair. Nice, fresh, sharp blade, or razor blade, as long as you get all the oil off them because they come oiled. You can just give, while the paint is still fairly fresh, you can shave them off. So don't panic if you get runs. They can be removed fairly easily. This paint might still be a little bit fresh for this. Yeah, I probably should leave that harden off a bit longer, but you can get the idea just there. You can see that's pretty much all gone there. A little bit of light sandpaper over that now, and away to go. Rightio, that's all the bits of filling and sanding back and messing about, so that looks a bit better around there. So I've got a little bit left to do around that to just tidy that up, but the bulk of it is in place. And that's how all back to one colour in the engine bay. So I think that's enough for one video. Quite a lot done in this one. Didn't quite get it a body colour, but that'll come next time. Okay, that's the end of this video. I haven't got as far as I wanted to go, but there's more work to this than meets the eye. And this is the time to put the effort in, because the preparation is key. And anybody who's done this sort of work will know that. The final coat going on just goes on because all the preparation is done. So there's more prep to do. I've yet to put some primer filler over the base epoxy and then flat that back, fiddle about and what have you. But I think you've done enough for this video. It's taken me quite a lot. As I've said previously, I have a busy life, so I only get in the garage for a couple of hours here and there. So every time you see sort of shots of videos, and I try to keep the videos consistent, wearing the same t-shirts and stuff like that, but it's usually a couple of days in between each section, so I do little bits here, little bits there to try and make one video. And sometimes I have more time than others, so it is what it is. So it's I just do what I can do. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and it's good to see the engine bay all in one colour at least. It's amazing how much of a difference that makes. All right, see you on the next one.